Hey guys, what's going on? It's Liam Jenkins Sim Racing here, and today I'm bringing you a very different video. The Green Flag podcast and the Codemasters giveaway are both coming soon, obviously depending on when the Codemasters goodies come through. Still nothing from them yet. I've emailed them once again today, so we'll see if they can maybe get back in contact and tell us what the updates are. But for now, just going to kind of hold tight. I want to release them hand in hand, so it saves doing two separate videos, and I need to view two separate things. So we'll try and join it hand in hand, and then get the results out as soon as possible. But for today, as you may have guessed from the title of the video, this video is about bullying and depression. And often the two go hand in hand, and I just want to try and reach out to a lot of people who've been bullied, or maybe even are bullies, people who've got depression or not sure what really it means, or if their friends have it, that sort of thing, and just try and teach them how to maybe cope with it a bit better, or talk to people, that sort of thing. So this isn't going to be one of those videos where someone holds up pictures of notes and says everything that's happened to them, which are striking. If you haven't seen them, there are plenty of them on YouTube, and they get the point across. But I'm not trying to seek attention to myself, because I'm confident in who I am. I just want to try and help as many people out there as possible, and I promised myself that if I ever made it as a motorsport commentator, I would try and join maybe a bullying group and maybe go around schools, talk to kids, that sort of thing, and try and be some sort of inspiration to them. But for now, kind of, this is the only means of contact I have with the outside world, so this is how I'm going to kind of vent this. If you're not really into this kind of thing, then don't worry, the sim racing stuff is coming back. But for now, here we go, I guess. So a lot of people are unaware that not only on a YouTube level, but also on a personal level, that I have depression. And it strikes a lot of people, because most of them, the reactions when I tell people are like, oh, but you act so happy and smiley, you're always joking around, you know, how do you cope with it? I wouldn't even have guessed. And the answer is, you just learn to deal with it. You learn not to show it, because the last thing you want to do is be, you know, sat in the middle of a lunchtime at college with all your friends and randomly burst out into tears or have to walk out of a room. Because not only is it embarrassing, then you've got to explain, you're scared of the reactions at what people will get, and it makes it so insecure, and you just learn to kind of deal with it. And the more you laugh, the more people around you laugh, you feel comfortable, and it takes your mind off it. And I think a lot of people see past that. But, you know, I've had it for around 8 or 9 months for various reasons. One of them being that my dad had a 3-year affair with my mum, not with my mum, but a 3-year online affair. You know, been bullied a lot, and it just kind of goes hand in hand and all added up. But one of the main symptoms of bullying is bullying. Well, I've kind of ruined it now. But one of the main symptoms of depression is actually bullying, and a lot of people don't realise that when they pick on someone or make jokes about their sexuality or the way they look, the way they dress, the way they hold a pen at sometimes, the way they walk, talk, anything like that. And people can really take it to heart, and the guys who do the mickey taking don't do it. Now, believe me, you know, there's some of it's banter, okay? I can take a joke, that sort of thing. I've been, you know, had the whole gay joke for around 14 years now. It's nothing to be ashamed of. I'm comfortable in who I am. But a lot of other people won't react so solidly, and people do it to just get a wind-up. And, you know, all around the school playground, I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone watching this has experienced some sort of bullying or been involved with a bit of name-calling, or not so much done it, but, you know, been the laughing behind it, or been with the gang and the crew that have done it. And I think that that takes a lot of people by surprise when they look back, and that the person they've actually spoken to or done this mickey taking with has actually quite offended them, and maybe they have depression, and it's sent them to a place that you really don't want to go to, okay? Depression's a horrible, horrible thing. You can't control it. It's a mental disease. You can get antidepressants and stuff, but you can't, there's no way to just snap out of it or get better. It's not like that kind of disease, and you just end up on a downward spiral, and it's really a shame, because as I said, been bullied from, you know, around primary school up to around year 11, and it properly stopped and you get accepted. And it sucked. I've had everything from, you know, death threats on YouTube to people, you know, punching your stomach at school, emptying your bag all over the floor, putting it in the shower, hiding your stuff, taking your lunch, taking your food, taking your money, throwing your money, insulting you, making them look bigger in front of all their friends. Anything on that scale, and again, like I say, it's all added up, and people don't realise what that can do to people, and it hurts, okay? It really hurts, and I wouldn't recommend anyone to name call, even if it's just seen as a bit of banter, because you really don't know what effects those words can have. Lucky for me, I think that I've been able to deal with it quite well, mainly because of commentating, but I'll get onto that a bit later. But I know quite a few people who suffer with bullying, and that's the thing, a lot of people don't see it as bullying. They see it as a bit of joke, a bit of fun with the lads, you know. Oh, it's funny, you know, he finds it hilarious. And yeah, he's going to laugh on the outside. He's not exactly going to burst into tears, because that's just going to give you more ammo to fire at him. And it's a real shame, because people look past it. If someone has depression, or you may not realise it's just some emo kid, as you'll call them, sat in a corner, looking sad all day, you know, drawing pictures, and no one will want to socialise with him because it's like, oh, it will be seen as weird, or he's unpopular, I don't want to ruin my rating. And as much as you'll try and deny it, it's true for the most part. And it's horrible because you've no idea what they're going through and how alone they can be feeling. And all you really want at times is just someone that you can talk to, someone you can ventilate all this emotion out of, someone, not just maybe even that, but just help them, find a friend that you can learn to get close to, and that you have someone there for you, that you're not totally alone in this, and that you have support. So maybe that's going to open it, you know, raise a couple of eyebrows and open some eyes. But yeah, I'm really against bullying, as I've said, and I think that it can get too far. People need to be aware of the implications it can have and how people really feel about this, and it can hurt, and until you tell them, they're not going to know. And the best thing to beat it is maybe not just to run to a teacher, but to start off just say, look, this is offending me, can you not do it anymore? If then they carry on and make it worse, then go to a teacher or do something for your own standards, okay? Just maybe not beat them up, obviously, but just try and stand up for yourself. But I think people who do this are so focused on hurting others that they forget about, you know, helping themselves, and they're going to be the ones when you come in a high-end job doing what you love as a career in 10 years time, they're going to be the ones serving you your chips at McDonald's. Now, I'm not obviously slating McDonald's, you know, a job's a job and it's really hard to get a job these days, but they'll stay in the same town with the same people, you know, and it sucks because you're going to go there and they'll see you, and then they'll start being really nice to you because they'll realise what you've become. Then they'll become jealous. Oh, I haven't spoke to you in years, how are you, mate, all this stuff. And it's going to happen. You're going to see people like that. You just got to think of karma, I think, and just try and keep your head high, because it will come round and your time's going to come. Now for me, you know, it's been quite hard to ventilate everything, and one of the main things for me, luckily, has been commentating. Now, I've not so much overloaded, but given myself a lot of things to do with commentating, including the podcast, doing 3 or 4 broadcasts a week, FSR, iRacing, now touring Pro Series, Race Department, all those broadcasts going on simultaneously throughout a week, and it keeps me occupied because it stops me thinking about what's going on in my life, what the serious things are, and it keeps my head high, it gives me something to focus on, a real career aim. And being able to look back after a good broadcast and say, yeah, I've done it. Or the main thing for me was Brands Hatch. For those of you who don't know, I did Formula 3 there back on the 24th of June. And being able to look back and not so much say I've made it, because I know, you know, I'm still on the bottom rung of the ladder. But to have that experience there, to go to a real track, commentate on real racing, from what started out commentating on F1 2010, and getting bullied for it, you know, I lost friends because of it, because people saw it to be unpopular, that people were picking on me, they didn't want to be seen with me because it's not the cool thing to do, that kid's nerdy, he makes videos and talks over computerized cars on an Xbox. To do that was a real boost for me, and the unreal amount of people who began to come, oh, congrats mate, yeah, you're amazing, yeah, after that, who before turned a blind eye, never spoke to me, never looked at me, bitched about me behind my back, that sort of thing was unreal. I've never seen that many people just almost lick your ass, if you will, in such a short space of time. And I know, as I said, this is still the bottom rung of a ladder, there's a long way to go, but for me that was a big step and a confidence boost. And I think that's what you need. You need to find something which you're passionate about. If you have depression, don't bottle it up. I think that's the biggest mistake people make. By telling them not to talk about it, or if you see your friend sad who has depression or something, or you have depression, don't be scared about opening up, because it's just going to hurt you more. The more you bottle things up, even if you don't have it, you're just a bit anxious about yourself, or you're uncomfortable, or you don't like certain aspects of your life, talk about it, because it's just going to build up and build up and build up, and you'll just end up an emotional wreck. I mean, there's been times where I've almost broken down in college, almost cried in one of my English lessons at one time, and it's really hard to overcome, because once you start sinking, it's really hard to get back up. So just talk to people about how you're feeling, and it's not like they're not going to care or ignore you or act any differently towards you. If they care about you, they're going to want to help you. You know, your friends are friends for a reason. That's because you like each other and you're close to each other, you trust each other. To have that trust with someone is really important, especially with topics as tender as this one, because people often get daunted by that people won't like them anymore if they say this, for instance. Or, you know, for me, I didn't really want to tell people because they might go, oh, I don't want to hang out with him, he's just going to break down or something, or he's got this, why would I even want to talk to him, or get bullied for it even more. And it's a really hard thing to overcome. So if the sooner you can talk to someone, the better. Like, whether it's just a friend, a parent, even a cat, you know, just pour your heart out to your pet. It works. I've done it to my dog before, and just speak about life, you know, while he's snuggled up on bed sleeping, because not only is it comforting for him, but it helps you as well, because it ventilates some of that emotion and gets out of your system, and you almost feel like a new person after doing it. Another thing as well is music for me. I mean, you've got to find a release. Okay, now obviously when people think of releases and depression, the obvious thing comes to cutting wrists, okay? Now a lot of people hate it, bully others for doing it. I've seen so many people being bullied, and not just over the internet, but in school as well, for actually doing it. And it's just a solution. By bullying them, you're just going to make them want to do it more, because all it does is just give you that little temporary bit of solution, because for a minute all that pain goes, and you just focus on what's going on there. And it's a horrible way to slowly slip down a hill, because it'll just get worse and worse. By bullying them or trying to make a big deal out of it, it's just going to make it worse. The best thing to do is to find a release that works for you. Mine was music and commentating, as I've said. Whether it be listening to songs, writing lyrics to songs, you know, just even little doodles that almost make you cry. If it makes you cry, it's a good thing, I find, because then you can get over it. It gets that emotion out of your body, and you don't want to think about it anymore. You can move on, think about something new, and really work on it. And I think that for me, as I say, writing songs was big. Had a lot of stuff going on, and just listen to music like Bring Me the Horizon. I mean, I know a lot of people hate it, and why would you listen to Screamo and stuff, but compare it to the lyrics of Nicki Minaj of You Stupid Ho, and you know, it's so much better, because it inspires you. And knowing, for me personally, I'm not sure how anyone else feels about this, but that someone's been through the same stuff as you, someone has come out the other side, made something of their life, gone through practically it must have been a living hell, come out the other side and say, look, I'm on top of this, I've made a name for myself, I'm living the dream, I've got everything I want in my life, and I love it, and I'm now giving it back to the people who got me there. And that's what I want to do with commentating, you know, and join this bullying group. But people, as I said, Ollie Sykes, Austin Carlisle is a great one, Jared Leto, people like that who really touch out to the community and do these bullying campaigns, and it's amazing. But the music itself, just to know when you're feeling alone, just put your iPod in and listen to a band or a song that really gets to you. All Time Low Therapy is a good one, or Remembering Sunday is another one, but it can really bring you to a new level and make you feel empty again, because it can just get all that emotion out, knowing that someone else feels the same as you. You're not alone. Someone who has maybe even been through a bit worse or a bit less has gone through that, made something of themselves, and it's going to inspire you to do it. And that for me was a very big feature. And if I actually had a dream, this is going to sound lame, but I was on the grid doing a grid walk at the Silverstone Grand Prix, and Ollie Sykes was there, and you know, singer Bring Me the Horizon. And this is still probably, this is the one dream I want to become a reality, and it's got what's going to push me every time someone calls me gay, someone puts me down, someone insults me, someone pushes me round, you know, thinks they're better, bitches behind my back, or a friend just walks away one day. That's the dream that's going to keep me going, and it's walking down the grid, trying to find a driver or celebrity like Martin Brundle does, and finding the singer of my favourite band from when I was a teenager, and quickly interviewing him, you know, about the race, why he's here, what team he's rooting for, that sort of thing. And once the camera turned away, I went back up to him and I said thank you, and he said what for, and I said saving my life, and walked away. And that's the one thing that I want to do, because it's him who got me there, and I want to, you know, it's going to sound really kind of weird though, but that's what I want to do. I want to aim for that, to make something out of my career, look back and say, yeah, I got through that, and that's a big motivator for me. And if you can get that sort of motivation, then it will be great, because you can find one goal, whether it's to be a nurse, a doctor, someone who, I don't know, whatever your dream job is, a game designer, to look back and go, yeah, I've made it, I've come through all that stuff as a kid, and I've made it. And that's the biggest motivator that you can possibly have, I think, and then everything along the way is just a ride. Once you learn how to kind of combat it and just focus on that one goal, do everything you can, not just academically if it's an academic job, go out of it, find work experience, you know, go and talk to people. This is going to sound like, you know, really weird, but talk to new people that you've never spoke to before, and just, if they look sad or upset, just so you're there for them. Facebook's a good one. When people put emotional statuses, or say, oh, I hate my life, blah 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 blah, just pop up on chat, hey, hope you're okay, and you can really make new friendships, find stuff in common, and it's really good, because I know actually my best friend through that way. Wow, this video's been 13 minutes already, but so yeah, I mean, there's plenty more to talk about. I'm sure a couple of you will be asking about my experiences as a kid, but as I said, you know, I've had everything from death threats on YouTube to friends walking out on me. I had actually a story now, a kid that used to pick on me all through primary school and up to around year 9 before he got kicked out. Was really quite the bully. Used to, if he couldn't get to me, he used to try and find my brothers, pin them up against the wall, so I would get angry and go at him. call me and get me thrown out of classes just because he was winding me up and I'd retaliate. I actually he added me on Facebook and I accepted him, and he was like, "Oh, how have you been?" You know, sort of thing. I said to him what I'm doing. He was, "Oh, that's cool. You know, ever take up smoking? You know, like weed and stuff?" And I was like, "No." He was like, "I always were a good kid." And he's, you know, not made anything of his life. He's sat there smoking weed day in, day out, not doing anything with a job, just sitting at home, doing a joint. Yeah, and that's fair. That's great for him. If that's what he gets out of life and wants out of life, then I've got nothing against it. Kudos to him. But knowing that I've gone further than that, I've furthered my education into Petrock or college. Wow, I've given away the name of my college there. But further my education into college, gonna get something out of my life. While he's the guy who picked on me, made my life a hell through primary school. So I come home, you know, get not abuse, but you know, kind of arguments with my dad. Go back to school, get bullied from it, and it was just an endless cycle. And the guy who made that life a living hell at a stage is now doesn't almost have a life. He just sits at home smoking, playing Xbox, you know. So to come through that, further your education, know that you're going to get a good job at the end of this, and get some good grades to go on your CV, again is a real big motivator. And I honestly don't know what else to say, but if you guys want me to make more of these kind of life stories videos or advice, or I'm not even sure what I'm going to call it, to be honest. It's still a very open topic. There's a lot deeper you could go into about it, about, you know, kind of personal experiences with depression. But yeah, okay, I'll quickly add one more point then while I'm here, because otherwise I'll end it too early. But about depression and my experience with it, and it's been, as I say, a rough ride, and you learn to deal with it. But the people who you really need in your life, if you have it, or you're feeling low, or you're not too sure, no matter how much everyone's situation's different. I mean, for me, my mum has been amazing, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. She really did get me through everything, and if it wasn't for her, as I say, every situation's different in every household. Okay, some people will have a really close relationship with their parents, others will be distant and hate them and want to move out as soon as possible. But if you go through something like that, or you're getting bullied, or you're getting picked on, you need your parents there, because they can offer you so much support. And they love you all the world. They gave birth to you, you know, and you really need them on side, and to just know that they're there. Just go home and give your mum a hug, okay? It sounds soppy. It's one of the best feelings that you can do, knowing that you've got that comfort there and that security that everything's okay once you're home, and it really, really can make a difference. So I've mentioned music and commentating and combined the two together, and it really has kind of boosted me as a person. And honestly, it's not that bad now. You do still get the odd low for me, and I just don't want to do anything. You have a loss of energy, you feel sad, you begin to panic, you get paranoid very easily, not so much clingy, but you get very worried, really upset. You just have a random, over no reason, literally, any reason at all, and you just randomly, you know, want to cry or go give someone a hug or message someone, and it really can just throw you like that in the middle of the day at college or work, and you can just randomly hit a low just at a snap of a finger, and then come back up half an hour later just knowing you're going to be alright again. But for other people it's different. They have a lot more severe, and it's kind of that feeling all the time, and it's really important that you notice those people. If you know someone that has it that you didn't want to associate with, if you know one of those, you know, speech mark emo kid, speech mark, you know, the whole inverted comma thing, talk to them, okay, because they could be having the worst time of their life, and the last thing you'd want to do is wake up the next morning and find out that they've done something stupid in the newspaper, that they're not here anymore, they've ended their life because no one was there for them, no one supported them, no one offered them any advice, no one wanted to be their friend because they were weird, because they were an outcast in your eyes, because they didn't fit in with the credentials that you want to be one of the lads or one of your group of friends, okay? Talk to them, just make them feel like they're not alone, that they've got somewhere to be, somewhere where they can feel safe and home and secure. And that's all you really want, because you can feel really alone with it, okay? It's horrible. You can feel like the lowest of the lows, that you've got no one there and almost nothing to live for. And the reality is it's so different. And people need to realise that you really need to touch out to people and say, look, you're not alone. Even if you've never spoke to them in your life, okay? If they're looking low, just say, look, I'm here for you, okay? And even a smile can make such a difference on a date. Knowing that someone smiled at you and that you're not alone and that you have got someone there for, and I'm repeating myself here, but I can't stress the point enough, because there has been and already will be a lot more stories where people have just ended their lives because they felt so alone that there's no one there for them, no one took notice, they're an outcast, okay? And that I've felt the same. I had nowhere to fit in up until around year 10, where I actually found my first proper friend, okay? And it was horrible, because I was changing friendship groups most weeks, trying to fit in, be someone I'm not, change around different people, And it was horrible because I never felt myself. I never felt that I could be safe and secure in that kind of environment, that I could relax and be me. And it really was horrible. And for those people who can't find friends and just, maybe sit in a library and read a book, you need to comfort them and just let them know that it's going to be okay. That's the key word, it's going to be okay. If you're suffering with this, listening to this, I swear to God, just don't give up, because you've got so much more to live for, and life holds so many great things, and while you may have a tough time now, give it 10, 20 years and you'll be having the luxury life, living the dream, what you want to do. If you can focus on that goal, don't stop dreaming whatever you do. If you have a dream in mind, make it a reality. Do everything you can to make that dream a reality, and just please keep your head held high, no matter how tough times get, no matter how bad you feel, how low you feel, how bad you want to do something, just don't do it, because you've got so much more in front of you. Talk to friends, talk to family, people who know people with depressions have said, or maybe acting a bit weird lately. Talk to them, show them you're there, because if you can combat it early and just say, look, I'm here for you, and you can get it all out, then it avoids a much weirder, windy road, if you will, a lot longer down the road, because it can get really bad. I know people that have suffered from it heavily, and they completely change. You have persona changes, split personalities almost, and it's almost like you're not talking to the different person. My old best friend was one of them, and she was, I'm not going to mention her name in case she does by some coincidence see this, even though we barely talk anymore, but she had it so bad, and it was horrible, because knowing I had to pick her up, and it can get quite stressful for the friends. Believe me, having to know that you not have to be there, but you feel obliged to try and pick them up. When you're as low as they are, it's important. You've got to be there. And okay, no matter how bad they treat people, they don't mean to. For instance, I know I snap at people quite a bit, maybe, or will get a bit low, and it's hard. I don't mean to do it. I don't mean to get quite stressy. I know a lot of people are the same. You don't mean to snap at them. You don't mean to tell them to fuck off or something. It just comes out because that's the nature of it. And you don't mean it, and as a friend that's got someone like that, you just need to try and stay by their side and just take it in one ear and out the other, and then just try and calm them down and talk to them, okay, because they can get through it. You just need the right guidance, the right attitudes. But the main point I'm trying to stress in this video is don't bully, because it can wreck lives. And I was very lucky, as I said, I had a load of supportive people around me, and commentating as well was the main thing that kept me going. And I really hope it's still a dream that I can make it one day as a motorsport commentator. But for those people who really don't have a dream, they don't know what they want to do with their lives, just support them, okay? Just be with them, talk to them at lunchtime and stuff. Just send them, if you don't want to talk to them in person and you've got their number or got their Facebook, send them a message on Facebook, because then it's not face to face. It's not going to ruin your reputation or whatever you want to call it, which is really sad anyway. But if it really does bother you that much, and just send them a message on Facebook and say, look, we can get through this, I'm always here if you need someone. And it can really, really make someone's day beyond more than you ever know, trust me. So I think that's just about it for now. I think I've waffled on enough, and a lot of you have turned off by now, but I just really wanted to get this video out there and tell a lot of people that there is a way forward, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and that I swear to you, if anyone ever needs a talk, I'm here. You're not alone. Send me a message on YouTube. I promise I'll get back to you, and I promise life's going to get better. So from now, from me, Liam Jenkins, I'll see you for next time on the Green Flag Weekly Podcast, Episode 8.